Wow, this guy.
Where I'm just working with one or two guys.
Making kingdom moves, spinning on business like me, Shaq. Aiming for our goals, clear clack. Moving forward, no need to reach back.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crown Cats podcast. My name is Joseph Honeyset, and with me, as always, is my brother Joel Engulu. How are you feeling today?
Bless, highly favored, bro. I'm ready for another one, man. Let's get it. Let's get it,
bro. First, I want to check in because you are our DRC correspondent. Want to check in with how they're doing.
Oh, not good, man.
Specifically in the World Cup.
Oh, in the World Cup. Okay, I think it's just like in general because there's a lot of stuff going on there too, just political. Yeah. But the World Cup, I mean, we're doing good, bro. We were doing better than what we thought. For me, I would have liked for us to tie with Colombia or at least beat them. That way, if that would have happened, we would have won our table. But Colombia beat us, and so now we got to be. We won the last game. I'm not gonna pronounce the country because I'm gonna sound stupid. But we gotta beat the last team, and they're not that good, so we should beat them. But if we do, then we're pretty much one of the top 13 teams in our table, and that qualifies us for the round of 32. And I think we'll be playing England if we win. So, man, we're doing good, bro. It's a Cinderella story. We're not even supposed to be here, and then if you know, like 52 years of just missing the World Cup, right? And so we're happy to be here, and we're competing, bro. So it's exciting.
For those that are wondering what team he's talking about, I got you, bro. Uzbekistan.
Yes, Uzbekistan. I was about to say Uzbek. I didn't want to sound stupid, bro. I said it one day in front of these parents, and they were like, Uzbek? I was like, Uzbekistan. I was like, yeah, it's that one.
yeah, whatever you said.
but yeah, man, I think it's just funny because, like, all the smaller teams, all the smaller countries are competing. The world is becoming smaller. Back then, man, you had like a lot of African teams, right? Their players would go play for like France or Europe teams or sometimes even South American teams, right, in the World Cup. But now, since the world is becoming smaller and countries are becoming more developed, these players are coming back playing for their home countries. And now it's becoming more competitive. It's crazy, bro. That's why I've been telling people, not just in soccer, but even in basketball, like the world has gotten smaller, man. Like the next Olympics, bro, I'm worried, bro. It's here in Los Angeles, and we don't got LeBron, we don't got Kevin Durant, we don't got Steph, bro. So I don't know how America's gonna do. But my point is like the world is caught up in sports and everything, you know.
Yeah, man. We always talk about the Roman circus, but man, sports is a great distraction. It's we're like, all right, we'll take that one. Like,
it's crazy how it's been around for years. Even like the Aztecs, like if you go back and read some of like their the games they would play to sacrifice to gods. Like sports has been like a thing for hundreds of thousands of years, bro. I feel like everyone's always been competitive, and so it's like, what game? We made this into a game, you know.
Bro, I think they had some type of sport or game back in Job's time. You know what I mean? Like they had to, bro. Like
100%.
Think about like just kids are always going to be kids, you know. So they were probably just playing with goats and rocks and
Homie, when I was watching that movie, the Noah movie with Russell Crowe that came out a few years ago, there's like scenes where they're just walking and there's no end. And I'm just like, there's no map, there's no compass. I'm like, what do? You just walk until you're tired and take a break and you just keep going. And you could be walking around in circles. So I'm like, during that time, bro, like what did they do for fun? Like what were kids doing? Were they just, all right, let's go skip rocks? Maybe that's where it started. I don't know.
Bro, I doubt they had a lot of fun. Man, they probably were worried about their next meal.
Yeah, bro. Maybe that was fun. Maybe it was like the biggest.
But maybe not, because like Old Testament, bro, everybody's a farmer or a shepherd or has animals and livestock. I mean, there's abundance. Like how many people were on the earth at that time?
Bro, we don't. That's what I'm saying. We don't even know, man. And yeah, dude, because you would never know that because there could be billions of people on earth. So it's like, what was everyone doing? Like if you hear like even like during like the Bible like talk about during like Solomon's time, like Mansa Musa, He was one of the biggest emperors, one of the richest men that ever lived in Africa. But that was during the Bible times. So like there was things going around in the world while Jesus was walking, while Joel was here. Like there's people in Africa living life. But my question is like, what were they doing? Like what was life like? There was no connections to anything else but your own 50 yards, right? After that, like the next tribe was away. That's the only thing you knew. But there's no way to communicate. Like it's like I think about these things sometimes because I don't know if I could live back then, bro.
Nah, man, I'm definitely down for that, bro. Like, if I could go back to any period of time, bro, it's always around that time. Like,
really,
Old Testament, bro. Like, I would love to be there when Adam and Eve stepped out the garden. Like, I just want to see it, you know? Like, that stuff intrigues me, man. It's just wild. Like I get fascinated with history now more than ever, just because, like, bro, everybody knows Alexander the Great, right? Like you remember him from history.
Yep, Mr. Alexander, bro.
Bro, he was born 300 years after Jesus.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
You know what I mean? I didn't know that for the longest time. I actually probably found that out like a couple years ago. I always thought he was maybe in like the 1600s, 1400s, yep. Like around that time. 300 years after Jesus.
That's wild, bro.
And dude, bro, I saw this video. It was talking about like all these people throughout history that like we believe to be true, and it progressively like, you know, gets with more famous people throughout history. It's like, oh, we have, you know, 3 pieces of evidence that this person was even alive. And like, there's more proof, like written proof that Jesus was real, like lived and walked this earth more than Alexander the Great. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, bro. But dude, you're spitting some facts right now, bro. Come on, keep going.
I mean, that's where it ends. But
no, dude, this is intriguing, bro, because people need to know this. Like, bro, that's 300 years because we think Alexander the Great is during Christopher Columbus, is during like the conquistadors. I
mean, that's what I thought. Maybe not everybody else. I don't want to speak to our audience here.
Maybe I'm with you, bro. I'm pretty sure we're normal, right, to think like that. But it's just crazy, bro. I mean, even I saw some articles like we're closer to like Queen Cleopatra. I saw something like that. We're closer to her when she was living than we are of the future. It was like a time that they predicted, and it was like 50 or something years. I was like, I don't know if that's accurate, but pretty much what they're trying to say is it's not as far as what history tells you. Like you think it's like millions of years ago, but it was like maybe 1,000 years ago, maybe 500 years ago, you know? Because even think about it, bro. 400 years ago, America, like 406 years ago, America started 426 years ago, right? During that time, bro, we advanced so far in 400 years, bro. So not just think of the last 400, think of 800 years ago. That could have been when Jesus, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just trying to think of like the time, what happened from Jesus all the way into like Christopher Columbus. You know, that's where my mind goes.
Yeah, man, I definitely feel like there's a history time gap, and like that's what the Dark Ages were. Did you know that? That's what the Dark Ages were, when like for hundreds of years nobody was like making anything, and I think the climate was bad, and
the plague.
To me, that doesn't make sense. Like, there's like a period of hundreds of years where nobody's doing anything, like there's no advancements. To me, that doesn't make sense. There's a whole conspiracy behind it. I forget what it's called, but like how the calendar like is not actually 2026. It's actually like 17 whatever. Yeah, I've heard that one. Super interesting. I love that type of stuff. But bro, the Roman Empire. Tell me. I'll tell you what year I thought the Roman Empire existed, but you tell me first.
What year?
Yeah, like when do you think the Roman Empire existed?
I mean, it has to be like before Christ, right? It has to be before Christ, because that's what the Jews are mad at Jesus, because they're like, They thought he was going to come save him from the Roman Empire. So it has to be before that. So I don't know. Like, I don't know how to say what year, bro, because it's like, do I say 900 BC? I don't know.
Yeah. 900 BC to,
that.
you know, like 200 AD.
Yeah, I would say around that. Like, I would say like 800 BC starting, and then it ended after Acts. So I would say that's crazy. We don't know when it ended, really. I would say it ended after like Acts, going into like past Paul and all that. So I don't know, bro. Like I've never been asked this question. I'm like shocked with this question too, man, because I don't know how to answer that.
Probably like 30 AD, 40 AD, maybe, right? Like,
Do you think so? 40 AD?
Yeah.
After that, so 40 years after Christ died, you think?
I mean, they all got killed.
I would say probably 100 years, bro, because Paul lived. Paul, I would say 100 AD.
Okay.
But either or, bro, it's like 800 BC to maybe 100 AD. I don't know, man. That's crazy, man.
So, see, I knew the New Testament, like historical, like setting, that Roman Empire, right? Like Julius Caesar, all that. I knew that. But I always thought it was in the 1200s. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, man.
But this is what's crazy. So the Roman Empire, the thing that everybody acknowledges, existed from 27 BC to 476 AD. Bro, what?
That's crazy, bro. But how does that make sense, man? Because they had to exist before Jesus was born.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah, 27 years before Christ was born was when the empire
started.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
there's probably like a rise to that, right? Like an empire. What do they say? Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah. It's probably like a huge rise, but that's crazy, man. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how to read those things. Like 27 AD, I was thinking like it was after, but it makes sense right before Jesus was born. But bro, history is wild, bro. Like I'm still on this time gap. Like, man, like, have you heard like that theory with all the like the bells in the oceans, and like how back then, like whenever America was first started, people would, on Sundays, families would go to church for healing, and the bells were like a frequency of healing, and then there was like a great reset of all the. So like my thing is like there's always a time gap. I want to know why. I want to know how long the gap is, and I want to know like when did it start and when did it stop. Like, that's my question. Like I just know I wasn't born, and then hey, go to kindergarten, Johnny Appleseed, and and then going to college. I just know that's not true, and so I want to know more and more.
Yeah, man, it really is fascinating. Like, and that's just like from Christ being born to now. Like, that's the context that we're thinking, bro. We don't even know what it was like. Or we were talking about after Christ. We don't even know what it's like before Christ, bro. Like, this is a question that I've always wondered, right? Like in Genesis, and I love that we're talking about this because my plan was to talk about this anyways, because I just found out the answer. But in Genesis, right, you have Adam and Eve, and then you have Cain and Abel. And then like basically you have descendants from Cain.
From Cain, yeah. Nimrod.
And so for me, I've always been like, how did that even happen if there's just Adam and Eve and then Cain and Abel?
Come on, man. You're gonna get some sticky stuff, man.
I've always wondered that. However, I watched a video last night.
I'm pretty sure it's the same video that I was about to say, bro.
I think this guy's from Instagram, not Instagram, TikTok. He's phenomenal. I'm even gonna like say what his thing is. Taco Talks. This dude is,
I think that's the one I saw. That's the
fire,
one I saw.
bro.
But he explains like the garden, right?
Yes. And he breaks it down biblically to where basically based off of like God's verbiage, right? Like when Eve ate the apple, one of her punishments was God is going to increase child labor pains.
Yep.
So to increase means that like she's already experienced birth.
Yep. Come on.
And then also in, I don't know the exact verse in Genesis, but it's right after Adam and Eve were created. God's first commandment to Adam and Eve were
multiply,
be fruitful and multiply. And so with like, what does it mean to, multiply? Obviously, like have children, right? So I've never even thought of kids or like people living in the Garden of Eden pre-sin. Like that's never been a thought in my mind. I just thought it was Adam and Eve chilling. And like they're there for 3 days. Eve already messes up. She eats the apple. Adam eats the apple. 3 days later, boom, they're out the garden. It was a short-lived experience. But when you really think about it like that, you ask yourself, like, well, how long were they in the garden?
Come on, man. Come on. Keep going. Keep searching, bro. Because a day is 1,000 years to the Lord, bro.
Exactly. And this is what's even crazier. What year did they say Adam died? How old was he?
I forget, man. I forget.
I think it was like 400.
I think it's like, maybe, was it 420 or something? Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. 419.
Oh, shoot. 930. Genesis 5:5. Yeah. Adam lived a total of 930 years, right? So is that a total of 930 years after the garden?
Right.
And if so, how many years was he in the garden?
Right.
Thousands? Because this is what's even crazier. God didn't create us to be mortal. That's where sin came in.
Right.
So what like, were they keeping track of the years? Probably not, because you're there for eternity. You're going to live forever.
Right. You're right. Exactly.
In this place that God created.
Yeah, that's the plan.
And then, sin happens. Boom. They're out. And then like the story, the biblical story continues on with Cain and Abel, fighting. And then there's Canaanites.
Yeah.
So, so this is where my mind takes me. Bro, it takes me back to Egypt, dog.
Come on, bro. I'm telling you.
Pyramids, man. And then you have the Nephilim, bro.
Yep.
Where were they at during this time?
That's what I'm saying, bro. My thing is, there was a lot of creatures, a lot of things that were created, right? And I believe the reason why God wanted to create man in the garden was like exactly what he says, right? Create man in his own image. So there was nothing like us, but there was other things. There was other creatures. There was the Nephilim. There was like different spirits, right? And so whenever God created like us in his own image, like he basically made a standard for the earth. It was like, hey, this is my standard. This is the perfect people. And so they started fruitful and multiplying, but then sin came in and then corrupted them. And so it gets really crazy, man. But my point is there was things here. I don't know if you want to call them creatures, spirits, but there was different beings that were here on earth. And then God highlighted that by creating humans and put them in a garden. Whenever that special place, whenever sin came in and crept in, that's when access. So pretty much Satan wanted access back to the heavenly realm. And the only place he had to go there was the garden. The only place he had to feel the presence of God was with people, was with man. And so now you see what's the ultimate sin is. Satan is trying to create his own man, try to create his own version of that. You see AI, you see robots, right? What is happening? They're trying to create their own vessels. They don't need people anymore. We can create our own host. right? Demons, they can't just come and do anything. They have to have a host to control. And so look what's happening, bro. There's like a mixing of spiritualism, science, and biology, right? The same thing what happened in the garden, bro. It was always like a mix of human race. Satan is trying to prove God that you're humankind, they're gonna fail you. I'll make a better version of that.
Yeah, man, it's wild. That's why I want to be around during that time. Let me ask you this: Do you feel like the world was more spiritual than it is now? Like spiritual in the sense of like, yeah, like tapping into like a different part of you, just because. I don't know. I feel like if we didn't have all of this and it was back then, I feel like you're more in tune to nature, which I think that grounds you to God, right? Especially like dependency. Like I think all this technology stuff like gets in the way of that, even to like a frequency level.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I also do think that's on purpose. And so, but also spiritual things happening. Like you go outside and you're like, oh, it's I don't freaking know. Like it's a, half goat, half eagle. You know what I mean? Like that's, but you see from a distance, you're like, I ain't going out today. You know what I mean? Like you see stuff like that, or a dragon. You feel like stuff like that, number one, was real and actually happened?
100%, bro. Y'all even quote, like, there's things in Africa right now that people don't even know. Like, bro, there's so much spiritual stuff that happens in the Congo.
That's
like,
where I was going.
Yeah, that Congo, bro. There's something that even the Amazon, bro. Like, there's so much mystical, spiritual things that are there, bro. Even in the Congo, people will tell you like there's a lot of like they'll see like spiritual people, giants. They talk about dragons. Like all of them, they all know the dragons are real. There's no dinosaurs for them. Like they call them dragons over there, and I'm like, where are they at? They're like, oh, they're in the middle in the east. Like you go because there's volcanoes, so they're around that area, and they're like, oh, people have seen them. People have seen a bunch of different creatures. People have seen like huge snakes, huge spiders that are 3 feet. The guy that was on Joe Rogan's podcast, I forget, he took a trip to the Congo and talks about what he saw and experienced.
Yeah, I know exactly. It was like a 10-foot like snake or something like that. He was in a helicopter. He saw it.
Yeah, there's that one, but there's so many different stories. My point is like, I think all the stuff that we've seen, like dragons, half goats, the fawns, like what's the dude from? Yeah, he's a fawn from Narnia.
Yeah, Narnia,
Mr. Tumnus. Mr. Tumnus. But all those things, bro. It was the whole point was a mixing of DNAs, mixing of biologies, and so I believe it was all here because even today in Africa, they believe that all these things are here, and so if they believe that and they've seen it, and there's so many theories that you can't go in the middle of Africa, you can't go in the middle of the rainforest, you can't go in certain areas in China because you'll never be seen again. The Bermuda Triangle, all those places you can go, you have to ask yourself why and what's there and what's the purpose. And then you go back into read like Genesis, you read Job, you read all these stories like Enoch, right? You get into those things and it just makes sense. It was all here the whole time. Yeah.
I actually have 2 questions for you, but like. So I think Americans or Westerners or like more developed countries will hear somebody say that, and like from some third world country, and they'll be like, "Is that real or is that just like the lack of their intelligence?" And so is that a thing over there, like in a third world country and just DRC, right? For example, not saying it's a third world country.
No, it is a third world country, bro. It's one of the poorest countries in the world.
But is it like you talk to people and you're like, man, they're kind of dumb, or but like they're intelligent enough to know what's going on? Like that's I'm trying to get it to be like it's not lack of intelligence. So like people shouldn't like write that off. You know what I mean?
I mean, I would say you could have said that back then, but since the world is so advanced now, like everyone has access to the internet, they know what dinosaurs are, right? And I mean, not everybody, you know, but majority of the world, right, who has internet, right? Even in the Congo, they have internet, they have all this, so they know what dinosaurs are. They know the difference, and so when you talk to them, then they're not stupid. They're like, bro, we know what it is. Like they'll tell you, hey, there's a big gorilla, a 20-foot gorilla, right? But they know what a gorilla is. Like if you see a 20 feet, anything, you know what that is. There's no reason to describe that. So for me, it's not a lack of that. It's it could be, but you have to. If it's hundreds of people, bro, you have to understand it has to start being factual. If it's just one person telling me a story, then I'm like, maybe not. But if I hear it from multiple stories, then it's like, okay, bro, maybe there's something to this. But I've heard that theory before, because even in the Bible, it talks about like how I forget which prophet saw like certain things in the sky and revelations and stuff like that, and people say no, it was just lack of intelligence, because back then they didn't know what spaceships were, they didn't know what this were, and so for them they saw it as like angels and all that. But for me, I'm like, that's just a cop out, man. I don't want to believe that. I know they know what they saw.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Have you ever seen Wes Huff? Wesley Huff, I don't think he's a theologian, but he's somebody that like studies biblical and Christian historical documents, right? So he's like well versed in everything. And he was on a podcast, he was talking about Ezekiel's wheel.
Yes, exactly. That was that right? One. Yep.
And he's like, well, you have to understand, like, if like we think of things in the context of today, right? So like we have things to where we can compare it to and be like, oh yeah, that's a UFO, right? What Ezekiel saw was like his best, like
exactly
best perspective with what he had around him. He didn't have a whole lot of options like we have a whole lot of options, right?
Right.
Probably, it's bronze, like blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Has wings like an eagle. Does it mean it had eagle wings, right?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Maybe it was a fighter jet, but he was like, yo, like to me, that looks like eagle wings. He's not going to be able to say it looks like an aircraft.
Right.
That word wasn't even around.
Exactly.
Right? So it's birds of the sky. So like all that, like I think that word is called like transliteration. Like all of that's interesting, right? Like, did he see an angel? Did he see a UFO? Did he see exactly what he described? Right? Like we'll never know,
man.
But it's so dang interesting.
Yeah, we need to get my brother on this podcast. He just hit me deep because that's all he does, man. He's the one who started me on this rabbit hole back in 2016, bro. Because he sent me some books about like the Nephilim, the fallen angels. That's what started everything for me, bro. And so he's real knowledgeable about all this history, theology. Because I want to question everything you're saying. Because he's the one that started on Ezekiel. It was like, how do you know it was in a spaceship? He just described what he was seeing. So I've heard that before, and so I'm like, I don't know. I take it for what the word says, and I go with it, right? When you try to like figure out what it's saying, and that's when you start getting in your own knowledge. Just take it for what it says. Like I remember Francis Chan talked about the fear of the Lord, and he was like, no, it actually means the fear of the Lord. Like, you need to be scared of him. Like how you're scared of a lion, he can destroy you, but people don't understand that. And so like he was trying to like explain, take what the Bible says as a word, and then let the Holy Spirit take you deeper, but like, don't try to figure it out. And so for me, I'm like, okay, what did he see? Well, for me, I'm just going to take it like he saw an angel, man.
I wouldn't even say don't figure it out. Try to figure it out, but don't be set on an answer. Because as you go and figure it out, it's going to bring more understanding to the Bible as a whole. You know what I mean? Like if you're like, man, I'm going to figure out if Ezekiel's wheel was a UFO. Like I think it's a UFO. Don't think anything. Just go and dive deep into it. Because it's going to have you cross-referencing all these different verses, and you're going to grow in your knowledge of the Bible. That's just my thing. But I had another question going back to the Congo, especially like early time, right? Like Adam and Eve are out of the garden. Sin has entered the world. Satan is on the earth. Do you think in the early times there was like recruitment to like Satan, but not Satan? Okay, because I'm gonna explain this. Do you feel like
please.
angels? My bad. Do you feel like angels and God created experiences for people on earth to experience him, to let him in, right? And just like with Abraham, right? Like when did that start? Because did Adam and Eve continue their relationship with God after sin? So and then through all these other people, it's not like people were out there, preaching the gospel like that. So where was that relationship that was held with Adam and Eve? Where was that translated to and continued throughout the Old Testament all the way to the Israelites, to then boom, now we have the Roman Empire, Jesus is born. You know what I mean? So I know I'm going deep on this.
No, I mean it's good, bro, because people have asked me this before.
Yeah. And so was there recruitment from either side, and God and angels created experiences to meet God, right? Have a moment with God, and boom, right? They didn't know what they experienced, but they're like, man, that's God. And God, I feel like God was probably more present in Old Testament times on earth than, I don't want to say right now, but maybe they just listened more. Anyways,
man, I would say back in the day, God spoke to man. So there was a lot of supernatural things you saw because God spoke to man. Whenever Jesus came, God lived with man.
Yeah, I didn't want to say God was more involved in the Old Testament than in current times, because that's not true. It's just kind of different, right? When Jesus entered the world, Jesus entered the world, the Holy Spirit, all of that was kind of changed the game for God. God's just at a an executive level. He's Don Dada. But anyway, so do you think that was happening on the other side too? And the reason why I say that is because all across the world, if you look at history, every civilization dating all the way back to the same, pre-flood time period, all have a flood story.
Yep.
Right. And then then there was all these different religions that also started to, kind of get built. But if you look at old world religions and then even Abrahamic religions now, there's kind of a similarity. And my whole thought with that is, they all kind of experience the same thing in the sense of getting introduced to God or having experience, just like the Israelites, right? But they also went off and kind of took bits and pieces from different things for a short period of time in the desert, right? And especially being around the Egyptians, and kind of made their own thing. And so there's all these, the beginning's kind of all the same for everybody. And then there's Buddhism, and I don't even know, but this is just an example, but Islam, Buddhism, all these things kind of had it started with something, right? And it was either God or it was Satan showing up as an angel of light, right? So do you think that's what the recruitment was happening?
Yeah, man, I believe God has a lineage. If you want to follow the lineage from Adam, just go read Matthew, or go through that. From Adam, then you had Melchizedek, and you had Enoch, and then from Enoch you have Noah, and you just follow that lineage, and then Noah leads into Abraham, then it leads into starting a new nation. So back during those times, the reason why Abraham is highlighted, because they were like what you said, everything started with a creator. Every religion believes there's a creator. Indians, Muslims, everyone believes there's a creator, right? What separates for every religion from Christianity is that God is the provider. So whenever God was trying to show Abraham, when you read the Hebrew, he told him to go sacrifice his son, right? All the other gods were requiring that. When you look at Aztec history, when you look at like things that are going on in Africa, every god at the time, there's studies on this. Rabbis will tell you they were sacrificing their own kids to gods. So they were killing gods. And so whenever God called Abraham out, Abraham was already accustomed to that kind of lifestyle. He was a part of that lifestyle. God called him to leave that lifestyle. And he was trying to show him like, hey, I'm going to show you, I'm starting my lineage with you, but I'm going to show you that I provide. I'm Jehovah Jireh. So instead of killing your own side, he provided the lamb. So that's what kind of started everything there. But before that, they were living a lifestyle of serving pagan gods. God got tired of it and had to highlight the world like, hey, there's my chosen people, and I'm going to show you that there's. And he started with Adam all the way Melchizedek, all the way to Enoch, and going to that lineage. And so I believe he was choosing his people through that order. And me personally, I don't think anyone else that he was kind of like revealing that to. I think he wanted to start with Abraham for a reason, because it was like he was proving to Satan that, hey, I'm going to start with this person. So that's my theory. I don't know if there's other nations that were worshiping God, if God was speaking to them and angels and all that. But I do know the Bible says that there was other nations that were sacrificing to other gods and pagan gods. And so what I'm thinking that they were worshiping a creator, but they kind of took bits and pieces from other people and then added it for their own. Kind of what people do today. The same thing. Let me
make
start
their own God, their own version of Jesus.
Their own version of church. Like, oh, I don't like that worship team. They worship too loud. I'm gonna do it without instruments. Or can I be Methodist now? It's the same thing. What happened? I'm telling you, bro. Nothing's new under the sun. And so people always try to create their own like God or belief or their own way, and they say that's the way. And that's why we have all these problems in the world, man, because people are saying this is the only way. I don't believe that there could be another way. The culture is wrong. This is the only culture, right? And so, man, that is a long-winded question and answer, man. But I just say that I think Abraham and God selected one family, one bloodline to demonstrate his power, who he was going to be.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Imagine being atheist. Like honestly, it's kind of dumb.
Bro,
because
that's what
you telling me that you in 2026 don't believe anything, but back in the earliest of times they believed in a God, not even necessarily the God, but they believed in something. Like, to me, that's just it's silly.
It just hurt, but it just hurt, bro. You get hurt so hard. You get hurt.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I feel like people that are atheists, bro, really they're like super closeted Christians. Like, they believe in God, because you're not saying like being an atheist. That means I'm talking about agnostic.
Agnostic, yeah, I say agnostic.
Yeah, atheists don't believe in God. Agnostic.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about agnostic. You don't believe in either one. I feel like if you don't choose one, then you're kind of like low key, like, I kind of do believe that there is a God. You know, like, I don't know which one, because the world has kind of confused me, but I'm just gonna stay here in the middle. So like, anytime I meet somebody that's like agnostic or even atheist, I'm like, man, I know God's he's tugging at your heart, right? Because I heard this quote. I thought it was great. Anybody that's wrestling with God, like, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, if they're wrestling with the question of like, if God is real, that means God is working on them. Because you don't wrestle with something that isn't working on you.
And it keeps pulling on you.
It keeps on pulling on you because you got to get rid of that old foundation.
And that's what the world is, bro. Bro, this is like cold, but we're like segueing into like a lot of things. But that's what the world is today.
We do
bro.
this, man. Hey, welcome to the Crowncast podcast, man. This is episode 78, bro. We do this.
Because that's what Christianity is about, bro. It's about get rid of the old foundation, and no one wants to do that.
Yeah.
No one wants to do that. So agnostics, they don't
want to. Because of Adam and Eve, bro. We tie this whole thing with a pretty bow. This is how we do it.
Man, that's beautiful, bro. I love these topics, man, because these aren't talked about. And especially young people, our generation, it's always like rabbis and things like that are talking about these things. And people are like our age, they don't want to listen. And so we need more people to be bold to talk about these things. Old Testament, New Testament, conspiracy, because you're probably thinking about it. You're just not saying it. We're going to be the ones
to say it. This is like fringe Christian questions. Like, man, you'll never hear these questions or topics talked about at church, like from the perspective in which we're coming from. So that's why we do it, man. That's why we do it. I got something else for you here. I got a fun little game that we're gonna do, man. We're gonna draft our top 3. All right, we're gonna do a draft class of 12, and this is gonna be based off of the 12 disciples. So we're gonna pick our top 3, and this is gonna be our team that we're going to draft off of who they were when the Bible introduced them, like their strengths, their characters, characteristics. And then we're going to draft. And then we're going to break out the names because we both don't know the names.
Right.
We don't know the names. We just know the characteristics and kind of their scout reporting card. And so we're going to draft off of just potential, no names. And then we're going to see where our team took us and our accolades and things that we did for the kingdom. So this is a 12 disciples version. I already pre-gave you a list, just like I got a list before the show. So let everybody know what your top 3 are, your team that you're running with.
Cool, let's get it. You want me to give the description and then tell you who I think it is?
Give the description.
Okay, the first one, man, the position. He's a connector / fisherman. His first appearance is in John 1. The strengths are relational, brings people to Jesus. The brother of Peter, boy with loaves. The weaknesses, less flashy, often in the background. The measurable things, first to follow Jesus, consistent, persistent. The competitive, he's the ultimate team guy, right? He's a recruiter, he's a glue guy. The pre-draft grade that he got was A-. High character, steady contributor. So, you want me to say who I think it is?
Yeah.
That one, bro, at first I thought it was Peter, but then I read it again. It's John. He was the first one that... John, Peter's brother. Was it John?
Nope.
Yeah, John? James.
Andrew, gosh. You're right.
I met Peter's brother, bro. Yeah.
See, with the first pick of the 2026 draft, Team Engulu selects Andrew.
Andrew, man. Let's get it, man. Man, the second one, man. Second one I got, bro. Let's get it. His position, he's a practical organizer. I'm a questioner. His first appearance also is in John 1. The strengths is he's evangelistic. He brought Nathaniel. He's a logistic thinker. Some of his weaknesses are slow to grasp miracles, right? Some of his measurable feats where he fed the 5,000 with logistics. To ask to see the Father how it would be done. So he's really about like numbers and how it's gonna happen. His draft grade is a B+. He's a reliable role player. Was that my second one?
Yeah, that was your second one.
Really, man. I'm kind of, when I'm reading this now, I'm like, man, I don't know if I want this dude anymore, bro.
Who do you think it is?
Man. I think it's Thomas.
You have selected Philip.
All right, Philip, let's get it, bro. Let's get it, man. And last one, bro. Bro, I think I messed up on mine, but I'm still gonna go with it, bro. I'm still gonna go. I'm still gonna win. Man, this is tough, bro. This is really, really tough. Last one, okay. The feats are tax collector. He's a gospel writer. First appearance was in Matthew 9. The strengths are attention to detail, radical generosity. He was good at throwing parties. He bridges outsiders. Some weaknesses is his past is despised as a collaborator. So he's not a good collaborator in the past. His competition is his redemption story with some knowledge. So his draft grade was an A, right? And so for me, who I think that was is Matthew, tax collector.
Matthew Levi.
That's right?
Yep.
Man, that was the only one I got right, bro. So I got Matthew, Phillip, and Andrew. Honestly, bro, I'll live with it. It's not. I want to switch one out, but I'll live with it, man.
All right, man. So you drafted Andrew, Phillip, and Matthew. So I'm gonna draft mine, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna see the longevity in what they did. All right. For my number one draft pick for Team Honeyset it was the 11th one. It was Simon the Zealot. His position is revolutionary. He's a zealot. His first appearance is Matthew 10. His strengths are passionate, political fire, bridged with Matthew, who's the former taxman. His weakness, I see it as a strength, but former extremist tendencies. From activist to kingdom builder. And his draft grade was A-. That was my first draft pick, Simon the Zealot.
Simon, man. You trying to scrap people, bro.
Yeah. I can break down why I drafted each and every person. We can do that too. But my second draft pick was Simon Peter. He's a bold leader, fisherman to rock. First appearance, Matthew 4, John 1. Strengths, courageous, outspoken, natural leader, deep love for Jesus. We got to have that, bro. Weakness, he's impulsive, speaks before thinking. So I also look at that potentially as a strength too. Denial under pressure. That's a big weakness for me, but we'll see how it plays out. He walked on water briefly. Confession of Christ as Messiah. He was restored after denial, preached at Pentecost, saved 3,000. His comp for the fiery point guard sometimes fouls out. I like that. Little floor general. And he's a draft grade A+. I didn't even see this. The franchise leader with flaws. And then my last pick was your second pick. It was Phillip. You already ran through that, so I feel pretty confident. I felt pretty confident, like drafting it based off of the characteristics. Like for me, why Simon was my number one was because initially I was gonna go with, I can't remember who it was, but they were like a really good relationally and like recruiting. But I saw Simon and I saw that he was passionate. He had political fire. He's a former extremist. So he's going in the right direction, but he can also gather people. You know what I mean? You bring that passion, that fire, you're going to find people that just like you. So for me, that's my recruiter. Then we have Simon. Simon, bro, he's a leader. So he's the one, bro, that, man, he's gonna hold it down for us. And then I got Phillip, who's the organizer, bro. I need an organizer. If I got a recruiter, I got a leader, and I got an organizer. That's how I was going into it. I kind of hit all facets of what we need to do.
Yeah, bro. No, I like yours, bro. Like for me, Peter's my favorite disciple, so I was actually looking for his on the list, but I couldn't find it. So I was like, man, I'm gonna go with the one I think is best. But I picked Andrew first because, like you said, he's recruiting. I think he was the best recruiter of the group. He's also less flashy, so I don't need my recruiter to be flashy, bro. I just want to go recruit and just stay behind the scenes. Cool, right? And then I had Phillip with you, which is the awesome organizer. I want him to organize everything, bro. So if a homie's bringing people in, hey, organize and put them where they need to be, right? And then I got Matthew because he's the money guy. We got to get some money. We ain't going nowhere if we ain't
Don't get your funny up, get your money up.
Yeah. So I think the thing I was missing for mine was like the dominant leader. Like I wanted like a dominant leader if I have that, but if I don't have that, I'll be great at defense. Let's just say I have a great defensive team.
I like that. We run our GM game.
Yeah, I'm saying I think we build our teams differently, man. Like for me, I was looking just well balanced. What do I need to survive, and not really try to increase. But I still got Andrew though. Andrew's a good recruiter.
He was, and I almost chose him. That was the one I almost chose. But I'm thinking longevity, so I'm setting that foundation strong, so we can go and we can do some work, bro. So I'll start with I first drafted. I'll do yours, Andrew. So, his kingdom impact. He brought Peter to Jesus, connected others to Jesus, the boy with loaves, and he was a faithful early follower who introduced people to the Messiah. His story ends in Acts 1:13.
Cool. And you had Peter first, right?
And my first pick was Peter. So his story ends in Acts 15/16. Jesus foretold his martyrdom in John. He led the early church in Jerusalem. Acts 2, Pentecost. Come on. That boy's crowned by the king, bro. He performed miracles and healings, Acts 3:5-9, opened gospel to Gentiles. He's a key voice at Jerusalem Council, and he strengthened brothers and modeled restoration after failure. That's solid work, bro. Your second pick was Philip. You got what? You got something to say?
No, I was gonna ask you, what was Peter's position?
Peter, let me scroll up here.
Andrew was a connector / fisherman. What I see.
Simon Peter, bold leader, fisherman to rock.
Okay, gotcha.
And then so, speaking of him. Oh no! Now it's you on to Philip. That was your second draft pick. Last he was listed was in Acts 1:13. No further details after that, but he brought Nathanael to Jesus. That's super dope. Practical role in feeding the multitude, the 5,000. Facilitated Greeks seeking Jesus in John 12. And asked clarifying questions that prompted deeper teaching.
Yeah, that guy. He's like a pastor, bro. He's like for the fivefolds. He's the one who stays at where he's at to teach, deliver truth, and he's like a teacher, pastor guy. So like
he was my third pick. So I'll go to my second pick. Oh no, is that everybody? That's everybody for me. And
you have one more.
You have one more. No, because we did Simon the Zealot, Simon Peter, and then Philip. We just did Philip. I drafted him as well. So your last one is Matthew.
Yep, Matthew, man.
All right, where the story ends, listed in Acts. Authored the gospel. No big deal, bro. No big deal. That's your anchor right now. Left tax booth immediately to follow. He modeled radical obedience. That's fire. Hosted banquets for sinners, showing Jesus's reach. So he was probably with some powerful people. Throwing those lit parties. I mean, he saw the water turn to wine, so he just took that. And then the gospel bridges Jewish roots to broader audience and with detailed teaching. So he obviously a teacher, writer, and connected Jewish roots to the gospel.
This is good, man. I mean, what would you say your style team is like? Because I guess what I'm saying is the way my team is built is to go. I guess our teams are built to do different things. My team is built to go like church plant. Because so let's say we go to Ethiopia, right? We want to establish a church. It's essentially like a party, right? So I'm gonna get Matthew and Philip to organize everything. Philip's gonna organize it. Matthew's gonna pay for it. Invite the guests, the popular people, the powerful people, right? And then Andrew's gonna draw the masses. And then they're gonna have one big party, one big Jesus party. Philip would be giving the message and everything. So it's like
they're at a crown event, bro.
Yeah, mine is more of like a party. Like, hey, we're going to a place. We're gonna establish a church there. We're gonna have like a big party there, and then we're going to a new place. That's what I feel like. As you were talking,
that's advertising and marketing.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, my team is built for longevity. Like, I want to compete for a long time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I saw those characteristics, and I was like, man, like, with time and maturity, right? Man, that's gonna build something big and have a big impact. You know.
What would with that team? Let's say you're the GM. What would your goal be with that squad? Like, let's say, hey, you got that squad right now. This is what I want y'all to focus on.
For us, being a dominant force in our conference, bro. So, like, for us, my thing is impact. So that's bodies. Like, I don't think we would necessarily be out there setting up churches, but we're the runners and gunners. So, like, we're the shooters. We're out there in the streets setting everybody up for you to come in and get the church plant. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Those seeds. We're the farmers. We're the harvesters.
Gotcha. So you're ones. Okay.
Because Simon's going to be out there recruiting, bro.
Yeah.
And then Philip's going to be organizing everything, all right, boom, this person's on our newsletter. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to keep planting those seeds, you know, and Simon, he's got the big vision. So for me, having that leader in place, man, we're going to do incredible things because he's got that vision. And we got Simon. Simon, he's a former extremist, so he's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
So he's down for anything, bro. He's just down for the cause because he's passionate for Christ.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, but your team, that's what I'm saying. Your team is a really offensive. Like, you guys can score a lot of points. Like, you go out, like, you attack, like you declare, you're in the streets, like, hey, the Lord's coming, like, you better like repent, things like that, right? You make noise, like you.
We're primarily an offensive team, but like Philip, he'll play defense. Simon's gonna get mad at us for Simon not playing defense, but he don't really play defense either.
Yeah,
he plays that LeBron type defense. Yeah, Simon plays that Carmelo Anthony defense. He don't play defense. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like we'll be set up that'll deter an opponent. Like on defense, they might get a bucket here and there, but we're shooting no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's good, bro. I was just thinking, I'm trying to think of how the analogies, but yeah, mine's more set up for like defense, I think. So that's what I told you I wanted to repick mine, but I had no really strong offensive guys. I mean, I guess Andrew, but he's the best one we have offensively. I guess Matthew too, but
no, Matthew's solid. Matthew's like that overall like player. Like, he's not a two-way, he's just good at everything.
Yeah,
he gets buckets.
Yeah, he's offensive too. So yeah, I mean, this is good, bro. This is fun and games, bro, for you to think about. Hopefully, y'all are entertained by this, and y'all can start thinking yourselves, who would you pick on your squad? But yeah, bro, I like it.
Yeah, man. I don't have anything else. You want to end us with a prayer?
Yeah, let's do that, man. So, Father God, we thank you for today. Thank you for just the life you've given us. Thank you for the purpose and the callings, God. I pray, Father, that you just give us step by steps. Let's not get overwhelmed with just the long, big goals and the big vision, just the daunting things. Let us just take things step by step, Lord. Continue to be with us. Continue to heal us physically, mentally, emotionally. You know our inner beings. You know what we're going through better than we know ourselves. Help us depend on you. Help us to be in your presence, just like David prayed every day. And that's my prayer for the people. Let this message, let our talk, let this podcast just touch people's hearts in some kind of way, God. We leave it in your hands in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, everybody, for watching this episode of the Crowncast podcast. Please like, subscribe, comment, and be on the grow. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next time.